Units from Ukraine's defense intelligence, in cooperation with other components of the defense forces, attacked Russian ammunition depots in Bryansk Oblast on 28 June. The strike targeted the depots of the 1060th Center for Material Technical Support, formerly the 120th Arsenal of the Main Missile and Artillery Directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense, located in Bryansk Oblast. The hit and a fire at the facility have been confirmed. The defense forces continue to take all measures to undermine the Russian occupier's military and economic potential and force Russia to end its armed aggression against Ukraine, says Ukrainian General Staff. A Ukrainian airstrike observed by the 30th Mechanized Brigade targeted and struck the position of Russian UAV operators in Soledar, Donetsk region. Ukraine's drone chief, Major Robert Magyar Brovdi, has revamped the incentive program for drone pilots, offering 25 points for eliminating Russian drone operators and 15 points for wounding them, compared to just 10 or fewer for destroying heavy equipment. That means strikes against Russian drone teams are now the top priority. Leaked Russian Navy documents indicate that the Russian Black Sea Fleet is keeping several unseaworthy vessels in active service, as part of a scam by senior officers to skim off the large sums of money being allocated to their indefinite repairs. The VCHK OGPU Telegram channel reports that the Black Sea Fleet is keeping multiple wrecks in active service, including the submarine Alrosa, the large landing ship Orsk, and the catamaran-style missile corvettes Bora and Samum. The vessels are known to have a variety of serious technical problems. Ukrainian attacks damaged Orsk on 22 March 2022 and Samum on 14 September 2023, while Alrosa, the last of its type, is reportedly falling apart. According to VCHK OGPU, the vessels are suitable only for decommissioning but are being kept in active service for repairs that are never completed. It explains why, with the aid of a number of leaked documents, if they are decommissioned, then the huge sums that are currently allocated for repairs will stop coming in. The scheme goes back to the Navy Command. Here is the permission of Admiral Vladimir Tryapichnikov, Deputy Commander for Shipbuilding of the Navy, to conduct navigational repairs of the boats immediately after the scheduled repairs. Or here is a direct order to write off fuel at an inflated price. There is also, as it is called in the Navy, a plan for future breakdowns. It is convenient to immediately build income for the future. It turns out that frequent breakdowns, for which junior officers are suspected of responsibility, are a profitable business for everyone. The personnel get constant vacations, and the command gets big money. It's previously been reported that Black Sea Fleet submarines are experiencing frequent breakdowns. This is said to have been attributed to their own crews deliberately sabotaging them, potentially for their own profit. A rare North Korean M1991 MLRS loaded with ammo was wiped out. A Ukrainian drone struck a shell, piercing the crew cabin and sparking a full ammo blast. North Korean forces fighting alongside Russia and Ukraine have suffered significant losses, revealing the cost of their direct involvement in the conflict. Estimates suggest that thousands of North Korean troops, originally deployed to support Russian operations in the Kursk and Donbas regions, have been killed or wounded. These forces, often used in frontal assaults or to hold exposed positions, have faced intense Ukrainian firepower, including artillery, drones, and precision strikes. Many of the units were reportedly under-equipped and poorly trained for the intensity of modern warfare, leading to casualty rates as high as 50% in some engagements. Lithuania has officially told the UN it's leaving the treaty banning anti-personnel mines, FM Kęstutis Budrys said. He called Russia the main long-term threat to Europe. Poland is also moving in the same direction after backing a similar move in its parliament. Today, Lithuania has formally notified the UN Secretary-General of its withdrawal from the mine ban treaty. This decision was not taken lightly. We harbors no illusions. Putin's Russia is the greatest long-term existential threat to Europe. It wages war to achieve political goals, undermines stability through sabotage, and is preparing for prolonged confrontation. In the face of such threats, last night, Russian forces hit a 21-story residential building in Odessa. 2 people were killed and 14 wounded, including children. A Russian strike slammed into a 21-story apartment building in Odessa, setting the 7th to 9th floors on fire. Some people were trapped inside their homes. Emergency crews managed to rescue 5 people, including a little kid. Sadly, at least 2 people were killed and 4 others injured, according to early reports. The Russian army's political officers, a Soviet institution revived under Vladimir Putin, face a crisis. Russian war bloggers say their traditional methods are now irrelevant in the internet age, and political officers have become a department of lies and hypocrisy. The philologist in Ambush Telegram channel has published a scathing critique of the role and work of political officers who work for the main military political directorate of the Russian Armed Forces, GVPU for short. An ordinary political officer is a typewriter for preparing a shitty mountain of absolutely outdated, useless, and basically useless waste paper. Millions of reports on reports, reports on the provision of reports, endless forms 1, 2, etc. A printer for duplicating absolutely useless printed and visual propaganda, taking into account all of the above problems. The GVPU apparently has no understanding that the printed Red Star newspaper is a thing of the past, that the modern soldier reads Telegram and e-books, that no one needs any kind of newsletters, bulletins, borders, magazines, and other paper bullshit. No one reads them or even picks them up. But the political officers in the troops continue to print this crap with a maniacal look, 50 to 100 sheets a day. What's most interesting is that the GVPU and the VPO, military political situation, departments of the units, do not issue laptops, printers, ink, cartridges, and paper for them, laminators and film for them, stands and frames for the 3 Bogatyrs, fictional knights errant, video cameras and flash drives for them. All of the above is purchased by the political officers at their own expense, or begged on their knees from humanitarian workers and volunteers. The modern political officer is also a generator of absolutely stupid and unnecessary videos about formation days, victory days, days of branches of the armed forces, and other days. A modern deputy political officer of a company, battalion, or regiment is not a story about working on the front line, on the line of combat work, on the same line with his personnel, where real work on increasing the moral and psychological state and fighting spirit should be carried out. Unfortunately, a modern deputy political officer is a basement or dugout rat, scurrying in a pile of papers, sleeping, hugging a printer, and flinching from another message in the deputy political officer chat, where he urgently needs to churn out another stupid report on another useless telegram, or the deadline for providing idiotic videos to a superior officer is pressing, or you have to go on a useless and futile business trip halfway across the country at your own expense to try to persuade another through a closed door. Otherwise, there is no way to defeat the Ukrainian. And what do we have as a result of all that has been said? Instead of a truly functioning structure for military political work with the moral and psychological state, and strengthening the fighting spirit of personnel, a complete lie. Fictional and deceptive work, a department of lies and hypocrisy. In a similar vein, Rostislav DDDD sneers, "When I said that the army would receive nothing but harm from the revived main military political directorate, I turned out to be a prophet again. Tens of thousands of officers imitating vigorous activity. This outpouring of disdain, which other war bloggers have echoed, was prompted by a recent report from another Telegram channel, Morpek Rokot. The channel's author reports on a conversation with a brigade's political officer, Politruk. He writes that the GVPU has allocated 60 million rubles, $762,000 to print more newspapers, which are out of date as soon as they arrive on the front line. According to the Politruk, deputy company commanders for SAM radar units go, ride by transport, and distribute these newspapers to units on the line of contact. Not surprisingly, he objects to this highly dangerous and generally pointless activity. I agree. If it's not a combat zone, but just peacetime, and there are enlisted or contract soldiers in regular classes, yes, to file for reporting, yes, it's convenient. But not on the line of contact. What is the purpose of this outdated information? so that the deputy commander could just go and not get there. Mine Division protests that the money could have been better spent. 60 million rubles is 420 Mavics. If translated into tens of FPVs, good ones, then it is 1,200. And now we look at the simply beggarly provision of UAVs for many of our brigades in the special military operation. We buy 85% of the birds at our own expense, or with the help of volunteers.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.